Good afternoon. Welcome to the Wednesday. We are Wednesday, right? Wednesday afternoon meeting, Public Works. I'll just turn it over, let you go.
Thank you, Commissioners. We'd like to start off, first, Mike Moss, Public Services Director. We'd like to start off today with two executive sessions, contract negotiations for 5 minutes and performance of a county employee for 10 minutes. Thank you, Commissioners. We'd like to start off first, Mike Moss, Public Services Director.
Now that is a speech problem.
Okay, we'll do that. Two executive sessions, contract negotiations, 5 minutes, performance of a county employee, 10 minutes. Okay, back from executive session. Decisions were rendered. Turn it over.
Okay, good afternoon, Commissioners. Casey Helm, HR Deputy Director. We have a couple requests from Public Works. So the first one's going to be for the ER&R supervisor to move them from step 3 to step 4. And these will all be effective 10/1.
I'm good with that.
Okay, thank you. And then the next one is going to be a reclass. So this is for the business manager, and this is to move them from grade 565, step 4 to 585, step 3.
I'm good with that.
Okay. And then the last one is going to be for the safety operations supervisor, and this is going to move them from grade 535, step 9 to grade 550, step 8.
Okay,
I'm good with that.
Okay, thank you. And that's all I have.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Afternoon, Commissioners. Sean Early, Public Works. How are you today? Today, we're here to talk about sheriff vehicle requests for the following year, 2025. I just want to give a little history on how the vehicles have come this year. So if you remember in October of 2023, we had the same conversation to get our order of vehicles in. So in October, we ordered 3 Chevy Tahoes for the police department and some Ford F-150s. Just so you understand the timing of how long it takes to get those vehicles, we just received our last Tahoe today, and we're still waiting on the F-150s. So we're almost a year
Almost
lead
a
time.
year.
So that's why we're here today to request 4 more replacements on the sheriff's fund. We have 3 Chevy Tahoes to replace and 1 Ford Interceptor hybrid. So our first Tahoe went into service in November of 2017. It currently has about 100,000 miles on it. We expect it to put another 20,000 on before we actually get the new one into service. Once this leaves active service, we would expect it to become a spare vehicle for the sheriff's office to use. This vehicle has had no real significant repairs to it, except us putting a transmission in it at about 90,000 miles. The Tahoes are expected to have transmission issues between 70 to 90,000 miles. It's just a standard item on that model year.
Really?
Mhm.
That's pretty awful.
The second vehicle is a 2018 Chevy Tahoe as well. It was in service of March of 2018. It currently has about 104,000 miles on it. We expect to get another 20,000 on this vehicle. We do not want to keep this vehicle as a spare. It has had engine control, AC, charging system, and was in a collision in 2023. Third vehicle is a 2019 Chevy Tahoe. It currently has about 85,000 miles on it. This would be one that we would want to keep into as a spare. It also had a transmission done on it, about 76,000 miles, and is running well. The last one on our list is a 2020 Ford Interceptor hybrid. It went into service in November of 2020. Currently has about 87,000 miles on it. It was in a collision.
Could you begin on that one again?
Sure. It's a 2020 Ford Interceptor hybrid.
Oh, 2020
Mhm.
Ford, not 2024.
Sorry, I apologize. A 2020 Ford Interceptor
Mhm.
hybrid. Went to service in November of 2020. Currently has about 87,000 miles on it. Was in a collision in 2023 that we repaired. And we would not want to keep this as a spare for one specific reason. The Interceptor hybrids have a 8-year, 100,000 mile warranty on the hybrid system. We do not have the capability to repair those in-house if they were to fail. So we'd like to have this vehicle leave us before that warranty is expired.
You ever buy an extended warranty? I imagine for a police vehicle, they don't sell them.
Yeah, so this is the longest warranty they offer on the vehicle, the 8-year, 100,000 miles. For the standard non-hybrid Interceptor and other Ford, like F-150s, they offer a 5-year, 100,000 mile. And on the Tahoe, it's a 60,000 mile.
Talk to me about the hybrid vehicle versus the straight gas job.
Mhm. We saw a small increase on fuel. There have been significant issues that have been warranted on those vehicles. I don't believe we'd be looking to purchase those again in the future.
Are those growing issues? That is to say that the hybrids were still a bit green. I didn't mean it quite in the
So
wholesome green.
yeah. I believe this model came out in 2018. We purchased in 2021 and 2023. So 2020, 2021, and 2023, we purchased some of these models.
So if I'm one of the deputies, do I prefer a hybrid or?
No, most deputies don't prefer the hybrids.
Well, that ends my question.
We have about, if we were to replace this one, we'd have about 10 left in the fleet.
You don't expect to see these till a year down the road, or roughly.
Yeah, so we keep a close eye on these because of the warranty on that hybrid system. We have another one that's coming up. We might see it next year. It's a little bit higher mileage. And then the other 9 of them are lower mileage in the 30,000 mile range.
Yeah. I just mean it seems to take them a long time to get you a new vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
That's my question. That was, I think, I thought it was a singular situation. Are you anticipating you're still gonna have 6 months to a year?
It's a good crystal ball question for us. You know, when we came into 2024, that was the thought we had as well, as that time period has ended. With us ordering so early, we thought we'd have a better jump on these. Of the 3 Tahoes we ordered, we had one in, I believe, April, one in June, and then one recently today. But with trying to get at the lead of the ordering pack, so the first one is the first one out.
Yeah, I know we moved on some stuff in anticipation of the delays, but you know what's upsetting here is in the United States, we've been used to going to the store and finding something on the shelf that we need. And when we can't do that, I'm thinking it's not your fault. It's nothing you can do. I'm just saying
Right,
it's not a good thing that we're experiencing for the country.
right.
Mhm.
No, I agree with you. Yeah.
I think a lot of that might have to do too with agencies are hiring more. There's a hiring boom, it seems like, even around the state, but around the nation. And so I think more agencies are trying to purchase vehicles, and there might be less stock options for us to get to as
Oh.
well.
They haven't, could be they have just not been able to keep up with demand at this point.
Exactly.
So the request today would be for the authority to purchase 4 new sheriff vehicles for 2025. And we've anticipated the value of about $95,000 for a new vehicle, so 4 times 95.
And that comes out of the funds that you already have, right?
Yes, these are reserved funds in motor pool for the sheriff's office.
I'm good with it.
Is it true that the chairman has to test them all out first?
I don't want the hybrid.
Thank you.
I think you're good.
All right, appreciate
You're
it.
good. Okay.
I'd kind of be interested in seeing what that hybrid interceptor looks like.
Yeah.
Continuing on the public works maintenance, we kind of mixed these two departments bullet items today. You have the sheriff vehicle request. Number 2 there is Extreme Machines. It's an event that's held each year at the fairgrounds. Public Works usually has a few pieces of equipment there. That is Saturday, September 21st. Just a FYI, we have stuff on our website about that. Along with the third bullet point, which is National Hunting and Fishing Day, which is held this year at the Cowlitz Game and Anglers Gun Range on September 28th. It goes from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's for kids. It's actually for everybody, but 17 years and younger, that's really what they're focusing on, with a trout pond, rod and reel casting practice. You can shoot their firearms out there, including archery equipment and shotguns. And so the sessions are 9 to 11:30 in the morning and then 12 to 2:30 in the afternoon. I know our crew's been out there a lot working on the grounds with the game and anglers, adding additional parking, striping the parking lot, adding additional rock for some sidewalks to be able to go from the trap house to the main building, adding additional restroom facilities for that weekend. So they're expecting fairly large crowds. Past history, these events have held 600, 700, 800 people. So they're expecting some big crowds out there on the 28th. So we have links to the information also on the county's public works site, along with our social media pages.
Speaking
Yeah,
of-
I also posted it on my,
Great,
Yeah.
thank you.
Speaking of restrooms, have we made any headway with the restrooms out by the trap range?
And we're still, I think, waiting on the cultural review.
Still,
Yeah, it's been done. Actually, I think it's gone out to I think it's the tribes for final comment before it comes back to the county. We have their septic permit already in hand.
oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, so we got that approved by EHU. I still think we got to get our building permit. That'll go down soon and get that through building and planning. I believe they're just waiting on a ship date. I believe it's ready to ship. They're just waiting for us to be ready to accept it, because I think when they unload it, it's with a crane. They actually want to set it in place at that moment.
Where it's going to be.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're hoping to have it done by this event on the 28th. Of course, that's not going to happen. We're still hoping to get it in place by end of the year.
Yeah, okay.
OPD, Office Public Defense, moving to the annex, still moving on, I think, on schedule. We're over there painting now. We got our new doors in place, or ordered and delivered today. We got solid wood doors for the old Compass area in the basement. Order new blinds. Met with correctional industries today to look at for placement of some walls and cubicles. Then we'll be moving up to the second floor. I know COG's still looking to be moving out by the end of the year, and then we'll have to revamp that space for OPD. So making the move, make it a slow process, but making some process.
I see COG had a place, and then they decided not to do that. So I don't know if they have a place anymore.
Okay.
I did, Correctional Industries was headed to COG after he met with us today, and he'd mentioned that they had a tentative lease in place moving forward. And so he was meeting with Anissa today to discuss their location. I hope that's the case.
Okay.
so you mentioned that you might need to get additional space out of the annex. Is that early or later?
Later down the road, yes.
Yeah.
And we might even talk about going to the third floor. They talk about some different mandates coming down the line from Olympia that might force them to have more lawyers in place. So we're looking at all options of that facility, and other campuses around, and toured the first floor at this location. There's some empty space behind EHU. So yeah.
At some point soon, there'll be 2 occupants, OPD and noxious weed. There's
Yes.
nobody else then.
That's correct. Yeah.
A whole building to OPD.
It
sounds
may,
like it.
down the road, it may be that way. Yes.
It was good timing because they just had a new heating cooling system in last year, new roof this year. So, I mean,
I bet
Not
they're
too
happy
bad.
campers.
Yeah.
hopefully,
Well, what they had is a bit ugly.
yeah.
Correct. The last item there was child support move. They moved from the lease space on Commerce Avenue to HOJ area in the PA's office. That move happened this last week.
Mhm.
So everything's off the site over there. Worked with the state and Julie Miller in her office for the last 6 months to build a new area, new walls, new carpet, working with the state's IT department to make sure they had servers in place. So I appreciate the help from our facilities team and Julie's team over there to make this happen. So they're actually on site now and working at that new location. And yeah, it was a good move. A lot of work. And so that's it on the maintenance side and public works, unless you guys have some miscellaneous items for staff.
Question on the IGA.
Mhm.
One of the things is we've been thinking about doing maintenance or changes at HOJ. A big issue is always how can you conduct the court system while you're doing all of that stuff?
Mhm.
What's the current thinking on that?
I'll take it. Okay. We've been meeting with, we kind of just first started the discussions with the courts at our last monthly Hall of Justice maintenance meeting. We try to do those monthly with everybody to get them on, the same page as where we're at with maintenance items. Then we met with Lauren Donnelly at Millig, and so we've established bi-weekly meetings to discuss future planning on that exact item and many others. And Mike and I actually just had a meeting with Kim Bocut regarding the event center, what's the best use of space there for courts, and then our time frame of how long we would need to use it, and so forth. So we have kind of 2 windows of time that we're hoping to start construction. We'll be in competition with school districts, and a lot of the major contractors who do school districts would also bid on our jobs. So our 2 windows are essentially summer months of June, July, August, and then August, September, October, we're also looking at, just to try to give us some good competitive bidding opportunities and keep the price where we would like it, which is lower. So anyway, that's where we're at on that topic. It was nice, not nice, but during COVID, they had some trial runs of courts at the event center. Unfortunately, because of the distancing requirements, they had to utilize this extremely large space in order to have a court there. That's not so much the case moving forward for this. So we'll be working with the departments to identify exactly how many courts will need space, and then staff locations as well. We'll likely also utilize the boathouse facility for staff that don't necessarily need to be involved in the court process, but need space outside of that second floor. So that's what we're looking at.
So you were thinking they'll use the event center again?
Yes.
Well,
That's certainly one option.
That is an
When we visited with
option.
Millig last week, we kind of asked, they were working on like phase 1 and phase 2, thinking each floor was a phase. And we asked them to go back to the drawing board and have maybe just one full phase, because we're going to move people out of that structure. I don't want to move people out,
One
move
time.
them back in, then go to phase 2, move people out and back in. If we're going to extend it out for like 5 months instead of 2-3 month periods, it'll probably be cheaper to go that direction and shorter time frame and do it all in one time crunch. I know there's other options in the event center. I don't know if we want to work with the Three Rivers Mall, some space at that location.
We also can do module units. And so that's what we're working with Millig on. But those are the most, we've done the most legwork on is the one that's an internal department, is easiest to contact and work with was the event center.
And that conversation just happened yesterday. We just want to really talk to Kim and say, is your calendar even an option for a 3-month period or 4-month period in the summer of 25 or the summer of 26? To see if, that we have to cross that one off the list or highlight it and go from there. So we're really waiting to hear back from Millie to see exactly if they do it all in one phase, how long a time frame that would be. And then we can start shopping around a little bit more. But if they say 6 months, the event center might be completely out at that point. And our only option might be the Three Rivers Mall and Macy's area, because you're gonna need a fairly large space. So we don't have all the details yet. We're just trying to figure out, do a little legwork till why Millig's still working on the construction schedule.
Virtual court. Oh, go ahead. virtual court is also on the table as an option if needed. I'd like to go that direction. There already are some courts that do virtual Zoom court. Again, I'm just not the subject matter expert on Superior and District Court to even begin to say that that can be done. So we'll work on that too.
Yeah, I was pretty, well, I was annoyed over the takeover of the events center for the courts. We were paying 40,000 a month for about 2 days usage, and that really irritated me. But on top of that, the event center was locked down. I mean, they didn't want people wandering through what might have been a courtroom, right? And even though they can do that now at the HOJ, but it just didn't work in my book. So I would strongly discourage that.
Okay.
You do what you have to do, but that's one that I like the idea of grabbing one of the buildings at the mall.
Certainly on our list, like we
Because those
said.
are idle. The event center isn't idle.
Correct, yeah.
I think Kim's comment too was like, well, you're not going to do court on the evenings and weekends. And so that's a lot of that space in the summer months, is that's when it's utilized. But I agree with you, you don't want it to capitalize over space that could be rented out to the public. So,
And that's a great discussion to have with the courts because we're aware that it was only utilized a couple of days per week for those months they were over there. Now, if we're going to spend the money, no matter where it's at, that location, mall, wherever it may be, we need to make sure that we utilize that space during that time frame, because no matter where we're going to go, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
And don't forget, you got the communications link. All of the courtroom stuff is all electronic.
That's true.
And that needs a high-speed link to the servers. I suppose they could construct an independent server, but we're talking money and staff.
Correct.
now.
yes.
So it's not a pretty picture for my book.
In a perfect world, they'd stay at that location and move around, but the noise that sounds like Bristol and knowing the sensitivity of what they do in the courtroom. And right now, when we did a smaller project of door locks and cameras and try to work throughout that structure, we had to do it from 5 in the evening till
2 a.m.
2 a.m. We had to work after hours. So that was a minor project compared to this. I would guess there's no way we could probably do it during business hours, or maybe why they're even present, even on weeknights and weekends, because I would guess they're taking down ceiling tiles and lighting and revamping the whole thing. So I would guess it's be challenging to have staff in there.
I'll make this deal again, quite a number of years ago, it became clear to me that it's a huge, you can't do a lot of remodeling of the HOJ while you have court in session. To move the court and then move it back, I thought was going to be pretty hard to do. And then with COVID and the event center experience, that nailed that one down and said, yeah, it is not feasible. So in the columns where you're assessing what it is you're going to do, one of them is if you can move the courts only once, that's a
It's ideal.
big cost savings.
It is.
Yeah.
And in terms of intangibles, the delays of moving and it's just like you move into a new house and the new furniture got there over the weekend, but it'll take you 3 months and that's what'll happen.
Correct,
there.
yeah.
Or if you're like me, you have boxes in the
our
garage
job
still.
is for the justice system to move.
Correct. You're exactly right. That's why the 2 phases didn't make sense, because the shutdown to actually make the move and the shutdown the other location to move people back and do it. It's like moving into your new house twice, and that doesn't.
Well, I'm
Pan out.
saying, yeah, try and figure out where you don't move them twice.
But yeah, I agree. Yep. That's why we sent them back to the drawing board. So just give us one longer phase 1 and call it, and that does everything in phase 1. Not phase 2, but one final phase. Yeah. So I don't know what the time frame is from them coming back.
We meet with them tomorrow afternoon,
So we're good.
not necessarily with a completed phase plan, but
Probably not.
One of your 28?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I should have said that earlier, sorry. It's probably 29 or 30 by now.
It isn't, no matter how we do it, it isn't going to be easy. And someone's going to have to give up some of the comforts that they
Correct.
currently have.
Yeah, I don't think we initially talked about summer 2025, but there's so many logistics that are being placed to move courts. I really don't see it happening next. I personally don't see it happening next year. I see it being more of summer, fall of 2026. There's so many moving parts to make all this happen in 6 to 8 months, and I just don't see it being in place. You'll be long gone.
Not
Sorry.
easy.
You will no longer be the working for the county.
So, yeah,
Twice.
it's.
Twice
it-
today. I said that.
He'll be back from his cruise and he'll be sitting over there harping at me, I'm sure.
I'm going to practice my harping voice. So, yeah, I will suggest that we really have to think long and hard about that. And it all points in my mind that you've got to go someplace else.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And furthermore, because you can get the advantage of having somebody build it for you for a far lower price, you're gonna have to bite the bullet someplace for the courthouse because what you got isn't adequate. Now,
Yeah.
using the building after that, we wouldn't need any other buildings, renting anything. You could move everything between that campus and this
Yeah.
campus, right?
Correct.
With room to spare.
Thank you for the advice.
Oh, well, it's not like you didn't already know it.
yeah,
Yeah, but it helps know that we're all on the same page, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. The expo center would be low on my list. It's not just a cost, it's a revenue loss too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's costs on both ends.
Yeah, one of the things about being in business, I mean, can you imagine if Fiber Federal says, we're relocating and we'll be out for the next 8 weeks? You wouldn't get your customers back.
No,
Boom, gone.
Yep.
although the courts probably have a little more.
Yeah,
Their
but not the-
customers, if you want to call it that, are a little more.
But not the
entrenched.
event center.
Yeah,
That's
well, not the
something.
event.
Yeah.
center. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
The unfortunate truth of the courts.
Yeah. Good.
Right.
Anything else?
That should be it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
We were talking a little bit about the tightness of the budget yesterday. Did you see any of that meeting?
Sean left.
Oh,
was-
Sean was present.
We were in other meetings, but Sean was online. Mhm.
So he apprised you of.
Mhm.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. I tend to think maybe too cavalierly, and because I don't know what we do if we didn't have a landfill.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
But we have the landfill, and so now the question is, forgetting all the machinations you have to do for the legality of what the landfill pays the county for the rent there. Not sure this is a fair question. How much latitude do you have? Do you figure, as you look into, not necessarily next year, but the year after and the year after, I'm expecting we will probably be, certainly if HOJ needs stuff too, it's gonna be,
Well, I think we're.
how much can we get from you?
Yeah, I think we're almost capped out on the current value of the landfill because it's based on the appraisal of the landfill. So I think we'd have to go and reappraise the landfill and get that, so that percentage stays the same, but of course, the value would be more, so you'd be able to access more money from the landfill's rent. The concern is probably, our revenue does go up a certain amount each year.
Yeah.
But we do also have a lot of money that we put away for equipment, capital, post-closure funds, things like that. The $7.5 million we pay now, which is like $2.5 million, I think goes towards the bond payment. The other 5 pretty much is what goes truly into general fund. There's probably some more room there, but I wouldn't think there's millions of dollars more at our current level,
No, but there, I'm thinking.
but there's some.
You can bring more
Yes.
trash in
Oh, for sure.
and, what's, there's something else that, the mine's a terrible thing.
Yeah, because we have a couple 100,000 tons below our permit level now. Yeah, we run about 800,000 tons and we're permitted up to 1 million. So we do have some luxury there to have some more capacity. And we just been like picking the ones that have been good for the county and other county agencies to help get us to that level. But yeah, there's still some room in the, if we want to increase the revenue more and also then reappraise the value of it to be able to get more of that percentage.
I think I'd encourage that, and I don't I've never understood the argument about the appraisal of the landfill. Nobody is going to go buy a landfill, so how do you know what it?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to appraise it based on an enterprise value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the enterprise value, I think, is going to be good.
Yeah.
That would be what you do in business. You appraise it on what it makes and
Yeah.
get a cap rate. and
Correct.
You know.
So
I think the other thing we're working on is trying to control some expense. We're trying to get rid of that feed we do to the transfer station too.
oh, that'll make a difference, right?
That'll make a
there.
little,
Yeah.
that'll help out. Correct. Yeah.
We also have an option to go to the DOE and up the limit from 1 million.
Yeah, you could up the permit. Yes, you're correct.
Is that a likely avenue? And you know, we're talking 5 years.
Yeah,
down the road,
I
but-
haven't really, I haven't explored what that process is.
That,
I really have.
that's always scary to me because those people, well, yes, we'll do this, but we need you to do this, this, and this.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, you're facing a pretty hefty bill for all the maintenance stuff. But but the one thing I think we've done reasonably well on the board side is making sure that you can operate it as a business and
Correct.
and not cannibalize it like I think would normally happen in a government enterprise. It's
Yeah.
like, well, no, you don't need a new compactor.
Yeah. No, you guys have been great on that. I've always said that. Whenever we come to you guys as a board, you said yes, as long as, we continue to make our payments to the county and you guys been supportive of that. So,
So I'm suggesting that continues. It's a viable business.
Yeah.
Don't starve it.
thank you.
Agreed.
Great.
Okay.
So are you thinking that you wouldn't wish to explore increasing the limits?
I'm not saying I wouldn't. I just, it causes me a little concern just because I've seen the way that agency acts.
Oh, yeah, and a lot, yeah. Enough said on that one. I might say too much.
Yeah.
Where else would you go for getting more municipal solid waste?
That's a great question, probably more for Sean. I know he's been more contact with the counties around that have, contracts that are coming up than me. So that's certainly something we can address maybe next Monday or Wednesday and see if he's got any leads in place for contracts in the next, 1 to 2 years.
And from time to time, I hear that the delay for someone to dump their trash at the landfill is just way too long for a commercial. Is that under control?
Yeah, that's really good. I think we're less than 30 minutes on average on any given day.
Were
The
you,
mo- The landfill, yeah, the transfer station, I know there's been.
Transfer's
the
a
transfer
different
station?
Yeah, but the landfill, been really good numbers. So, but not first thing in the morning, but the average part of the day is 30 minutes, but the morning is still an hour or two late because you still have 30 trucks show up with only 3 tippers. The math's not there because it takes, 7 to 9 minutes to tip one truck. And if there's 30 in line, you know, it's going to take you an hour to get
Wait,
through
wait,
there.
you're confusing me. You're talking transfer station
Nope.
or the landfill?
Landfill.
Because that's an area where as you push another 150,000 tons,
Yeah.
that's more traffic and.
Correct,
so
yeah.
it's-
So adding a third tipper really helped our times at the landfill, because we run 3 tippers most of the morning and then we usually back out to 2. But, you know, we only got so many hours per day. I think at a certain point, you're probably gonna either probably add a Saturday shift in there, because a lot of the transfer stations, most transfer stations are open 7 days a week. And so they accumulate a lot of garbage at the transfer station at the counties we get their garbage from. And then Monday, we're just loaded up. So if we're going to actually make it to the next step or add more counties coming into our location, the Mondays are going to be probably not manageable, where you probably have to open up on a Saturday to relieve some of that traffic on a Monday. Because a lot of landfills do open, have a weekend shift or at least a Saturday shift. We're lucky enough with the split shifts that we have and the amount of garbage we've got and 3 tippers, we can do it on a Monday through Friday.
I suppose the essence of all my questions is, I think this is a good time to begin looking how you can maximize value there and every element. I mean, you may come to us and say, you're going to have to invest another 3 million in order for you to move to the next level.
Correct.
Yep. I hope it's only 3 million.
Yeah. That'd be the true. That would come with you with a package and say, we need this, this and that to get, if we want to go from 800 to 950 or whatever that magic number is, we're going to need this, either another piece of equipment or we need another, a shift in place or just 3 more bodies or whatever it may be. So.
Then it's just a business decision.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
But that's why I'm so happy with the landfill is because they treat it like it's a real business, and it is.
And where they have had delays, and I know Mike's worked really hard on it, is at the transfer station with some of the commercial, and I think they've come up with a plan, and we're hoping it works.
Yeah, September
fingers crossed,
30th, we
Has
started
it
up.
been
Actually,
tried yet?
it's September 30th. We gave notice. We want to make sure we have the residents, give them notice not to bring their trailers the first 2 hours, Monday through Friday. We actually took a phone call today from a commercial person that has a dump truck. And he was upset because he hadn't heard about it yet, but said, hey, I just can't get in there. And we told him about the new plan. And he said, oh, that sounds like it may work. We asked for him to call us back after a couple of weeks in September or in October to make sure what we put in place did work. If it doesn't, then we may have to revamp the hours or add more additional hours on or whatever it may be. But we're hoping that first couple hours, if it's just the commercial traffic that's on the floor, that'll alleviate their wait times and they can schedule their crews to dump at that time and not come at 2 PM. So we're crossing our fingers that it works well and wait times are down and the phone calls diminish.
You specifically don't have control over that, right? That you
Correct.
got to sweet talk.
Yep. Yeah. We talk to them. They hear it too. You guys get the phone calls that they hear from the people that they're every day talking to them saying, this is ridiculous that we're waiting here for 2 hours. So
that was my message to the people that contact me. Well, we don't control them, but we will work with them
correct.
Mhm.
as
Yeah.
best we can.
We do.
Yep. So we got signage made. We got 3 signs at the transfer station throughout while they're waiting in line so people will know on that date there's a change with trailer traffic and a social media press release went out. So we'll see what happens on the 30th.
Yeah.
When does the governing board meet again?
I think Sean was putting together the SWAC meeting first week in October. I think it was what he's looking at.
A SWAC meeting,
Yeah.
not the governing board.
No, I don't think there's a plan to put the governance committee back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I out of questions?
I think.
Yes,
Yes, okay, great.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
The boss is right there.
She leaves tomorrow for days.
No,
So you're stuck.
we pick that.
No, you're out of the office for 8 days. So you're stuck with.
2 business weeks, that's it.
Going where?
We're Italy, so we'll be in Venice, Sicily, Rome, Naples, Florence, can't remember, Province, and then end in Barcelona.
You might need somebody to help you with the local.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna use Google Translate.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't know that, but yeah, I'm stoked. I've never been there first. I'm really,
How are you doing it?
cruise.
And so you're flying to,
We're flying into Venice for 2 days. And ends in Barcelona, and we're gonna spend 2 days.
you're actually probably flying into Fiumicino and then taking a puddle jumper to Trieste, maybe Venice?
Yeah, it's, wait, Ravenna?
Ravenna, right.
Yes, so that's. So we'll be here for.
You know what's really interesting when you're around there, you're not very far from all kinds of interesting places.
That's my hope.
Yeah.
We're gonna be right by.
St. Mark's Cathedral,
Yes.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
watch for the pigeons
that's my, yeah, I,
and the pickpockets.
yeah, well, that's what I thought I meant, sorry. Pigeons, that's what it is. Yeah, so we'll be in, one of our.
Now, it used to be that the women were required to wear something over their head and no shorts.
No, no shoulders. Nothing but the knees. So,
Yeah,
Still,
it's, those things don't move very quickly. I almost,
So what cruise are you guys going on?
uh,
Yeah, I want.
yes, please.